Once again, Jesus Christ, I never thought I would ever come to review this movie, but I have to anyway. Welcome to episode 2, Atomic Boogaloo. You know, they say that sequels never tend to live up to the hype that the original had. Sometimes you have some exceptions, but a lot of the times, yeah, that is certainly the case. But for some unexplained reason, this movie falls that trend. Like a bad habit. Godzilla Raids Again, released in 1955, was released only 6 months later after the original film's release. So here's the thing. Toho thought it would be a great idea to make a sequel, and you would think that the people behind the first film's production, you would think that they would actually get more time to develop this sequel, right?
Nope.
Of course they didn't. Oh my god, where do I begin? Well, it was rushed like hell. Obviously, a smaller schedule and a tighter deadline to make the film even more difficult to produce. Not only that, director Ishiro Honda was not attached to make the sequel, or direct it, excuse me. And not even the great music composer Akira Fugube. In their places, as the director, you got Motoyoshi Oda, and for the music, you have Masaru Sato, one of the best Japanese composers of all time. But his work is kind of lacking here, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But right now, let us see how bad this sequel is, shall we? Two pilots named Shuichi Shioka and Koji Kobayashi, played by Hiroshi Koizumi, rest in peace, and Minoru Chiaki, rest in peace also, respectively, are hunting schools for fish for a tuna cannery company in Osaka. Kobayashi's plane malfunctions and is forced to land near Owato Island. Shioka lands to pick up Kobayashi, and the two encounter Godzilla, somehow, and a quadrupedal monster who fell off a cliff into the ocean. Shioka and Kobayashi reported to the authorities in Osaka and found out that the quadruped is an ankylosaurus called Anguirus. I don't know how it could be called Anguirus when you know that it's an ankylosaur, but okay. Whose species had an ancient rivalry with Godzilla's species. How many of them are there exactly? Dr. Kyohei Imade, played by Takashi Shimura again, who experienced Godzilla's attack in 1954, confirms that this Godzilla is a second member of the species. For all the people who said, oh my god, Godzilla is so unique, no he isn't. No he isn't. There's more than one. There's always been more than one. And that both monsters were likely reanimated by hydrogen bomb tests. Apparently somebody didn't get the message. Oh god, I hate it when people do not listen. It drives me insane. With conventional weapons unable to kill Godzilla, Dr. Yamada suggests using flares to lure Godzilla away. I like that idea. Why don't you use it more? I don't know. Godzilla arrives on the shore of Osaka while a blackout of all city lights is enforced. The Japanese Air Self-Defense Force jets use flares to lead Godzilla away from the shore. Godzilla pursues the flares, leaving the shore. Meanwhile, shenanigans number 2, or should I say, in shenanigans number 2, a prison truck transports criminals into another part of the country. The convicts hijack the truck, and after a lengthy chase with the police, with our protagonist getting involved, damn you shenanigans, the truck crashes into an industrial building and starts a massive fire, and that causes Godzilla to go back to shore. Moments later, Anguirus emerges and attacks Godzilla. Shenanigans number 3. Or is that number 4? I lost count. As the monsters battle, the convicts attempt to escape, but drown when the subway is flooded. Godzilla kills Anguirus and returns to the ocean. Kobayashi is transferred to Hokkaido plant. What? During a company party, Yukioka and Hidemi, who came to visit, and Kobayashi they're notified that Godzilla destroyed one of the company fishing boats. Yeah, that's all that happened. I'm sure. I'm sure it was something else. Oh, it was him. Oh, right. Well then, continuing on. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. This is what happens when you literally eat breakfast and you had to do this podcast way after. And certain things like that happens. I can't believe that had to happen. Anyway, the military boat and Tsuyoka begin a massive search for Godzilla. Tsuyoka spots Godzilla swimming to the shore of a small icy island. It's just a little thing. How in the world could a cold-blooded animal go to a colder environment? Wouldn't it just go into warmer waters? Where's the logic in that? When you're trying to go to a remote island that's literally frozen fucking tundra, you're probably freezing your nuts off. I don't want to be in there. I do not see the logic. He notifies the cannery, and company actually takes his plane off to switch shifts with Tsuyoka. Tsuyoka, who has transferred to the Air Force, travels on a jet with an old friend, who has not been named. I'm pretty sure he has been named, but not brought up into this plot on Wikipedia. They drop bombs on Godzilla, and surprise, 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 it doesn't do jack. Godzilla then wades towards shore. Kobayashi is killed, shenanigans, while trying to distract Godzilla from returning to the ocean. Tsuyoka is devastated, but realizes that the military can shoot missiles at the mountain, and buries Godzilla in an avalanche. I don't know why it didn't do that before. The jets fire missiles and bury Godzilla in snow and ice. Yeah, that was the plot. I bet you can probably tell what I'm going to call this plot. Shenanigans be damned, or damn you shenanigans. Everything happens via shenanigans. Oh, they stumble up across a Watto Island that happens to have Godzilla and Anguirus. Shenanigans. And convicts just so happens to crash into the foundry and cause Godzilla to turn back into Osaka. Shenanigans. Oh, and it also attracted Anguirus. Shenanigans. The fact that the military got the idea to bury Godzilla under ice after Kobayashi supposedly sacrificed himself while trying to distract the Leviathan. God damn you shenanigans. I am okay personally with shenanigans as long as it's done right. But when it's done for the sake of convenience, that kind of worries me. And let me tell you about that ending. The ending gave me PTSD. No, that's not true. The first time I watched this ending, I was like this. What? Is it over? Yeah. The few other times that I watched it, it gave me PTSD. It felt like I was getting bombarded with bombs, and each time I get hit with those bombs, a piece of my skin or the ligament of my body starts ripping off. That sounds like, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, that sounds like an interesting idea for a monster movie. Just continue hitting me with bombs until you hit the heart. I would love someone to make that. So that's the story in a nutshell. As for the characters, tolerable but underutilized. Hiroshi Koizumi does a serviceable job, but I felt like his character needed more development. I have a feeling that he does, but not to the fullest extent. The rest of the characters, however, I find them to be... boy. Yeah, that's how I think of those characters. As for the special effects... Okay, where in the world do I begin with this? During the production, during the fight sequences in Osaka, Tsuburaya, who was in charge of the special effects again, thankfully, he stumbled upon an accident where one of the camera crew accidentally filmed the scene in fast mo. How does it go? Oh yeah, where one of the cameramen shoots the scene in slower, but when rendered in normal speed, it looked like it's faster. Suddenly, he thought it was a good idea to keep it in the movie. I would have told that guy, try that mess again, and this time get it right. I don't know why he just didn't do that. As for the choreography, I am okay. I'm okay with it. They actually fight like real animals. And that actually adds a little sense of realism to the fight. You can actually see them scratch and claw each other, and bite each other, literally biting each other. And that's a nice little touch. I actually like that. The problem is the camera work is god awful. Oh my god, what the hell happened? Jesus Christ, it's like I'm watching something from the Looney Tunes. No, scratch that. From Tom and Jerry. I don't know why he stuck with this in later films, but in those later films, it actually becomes tolerable. But the first time it's used here, yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan of it at all. So let's talk about the music. Now, like I said at the beginning, Akira Ifukube wasn't attached to make the film's score. Instead, in his place, it's Masaru Sato. And like I said, he is one of the best Japanese composers ever. But his work on Godzilla Raids Again leaves a lot to be desired. There's only one single track that I like, called Flares and Godzilla, that I actually really like. It is so eerie, so creepy. It's makes my spine tingle every time I listen to it. The rest of the score, however, underutilized. In the commentary that I recently watched, when one of the guys interviewed Sato, he said this. He asked Sato, did it sound, in his words, Satoian, to which Masaru replied, it's like listening to a kid trying to learn. Yeah. I feel you. That's me. That's me in a nutshell. It's like each time I do these episodes, I'm trying to improve my speech because, yeah, I have a speech problem. And sometimes I literally stutter on my words. But one of these days, I'll get better. Trust me, I'll get better. I haven't even talked about the... Oh my god. I haven't even talked about the American version, to which I'll get to right now. So here's the story of how the original American release was handled. So originally, this film was not supposed to come to America. Originally, this film was supposed to be called The Volcano Monsters, where footage from the original 1955 film were used for The Volcano Monsters, and it was going to be produced by a company named ABPT. But because it found under bankruptcy, the film was scrapped. So what was next? Paul Schreitman distributed the rights for Godzilla Raids Again, and some strange, stupid reason renamed it Gigantus the Fire Monster. And he actually admitted in his quote saying, we called it Gigantus because we didn't want to confuse it with Godzilla. Oh my god. What? Oh my god, that is the dumbest thing I ever heard. Oh my god, coincidentally, even though the beast itself literally is Godzilla, you just renamed him. So either it was a lack of thinking that he said that, or someone else had his ass being shoved by someone else's foot. Probably mine, since I'm stuck in this time period. For those who do not know, I traveled back in time all the way back to the Second World War, and I'm here in 1955. Wait, if I'm in 1955, how in the world do I know that? Oh yeah, research. Great Scott! I need to find Doc Brown. I need to find Doc. I'm back. Unbelievable. Well, that didn't work. He said I couldn't use a time machine. He need 1.21 gigawatts to get back into my own time period. Oh, god damn it. God damn it. It's like I'm permanently stuck here. So anyway, Gigantus Divine Monster. Unnecessary, bad dubs, a narration that never shuts up, stock music that never stops, and Godzilla sounding like Anguirus gets on my goddamn nerves. So there's that. There's that. So with all that being said, with its rushed production, not so interesting characters, sped up choreography, and the lack of emotional depth, Godzilla Raids Again gets a 55 out of 100. How meta does that sound? Jesus Christ. This film was released in 1955 and I gave it a 55. Boy, oh boy. Anyway, like I said, those things that I pointed out really hurted the movie for me. And you might notice that I didn't call this the worst film ever. It's the most disappointing film. Yeah, it is one of. But it's not the worst. There are far more worse films out there, believe me, and I have yet to review them. God help me on my soul. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next time when I review... The hell? Jesus! Oh, Lord. Okay, that almost took off my head. What in the world? That almost took off my head. Yeah. Join me next time when I review the original Rodan from 1956. Until then, dismissed.